Life is a marathon which we all must be working out continuously. And continual improvement is the key when it comes for our progression in life. Ladies, gentlemen, and viewers and subscribers to Mind Academy and Mind Race, welcome back once again to our today's next episode with Mind Race lighting up the world in Mind Academy. So it's my pleasure, honor in welcoming and distinguished guest who's going to take part in today's Mind Race program. Past division director with Toastmasters, and he is distinguished Toastmaster who cuts across the spectrum and electronics and instrumentation engineer by profession, and it just goes on and on and on. And what is far more important and distinguished about this guest today is he's a person who is precise when it comes to certain aspects of life. And what is it? Having goals. And what more important than that is how he is focused in getting them tracked. To all his mentees, he ensures that goals are achieved in a precise way. Thank you, sir. Once again, welcome DTM Kotishwaran, sir, to Mind Academy's Mind Race, this week's episode.
Thank you, Bala, for this wonderful introduction. Yes, the Mind Race is doing great, and it's always be pleasure to be part of Mind Race program. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. It's a privilege and an honor to have you once again with Mind Race, lighting up the world. Now, as I started off with a precursor, it is goals which is very important, be it a football game or a field hockey game or in life as well. Now, goals vary. Many come out with this adjectives: short-term goal, mid-term goal, long-term goals, so on and so forth. For someone, these goals cut across different spectrums of life as well, be it a goal related to health. For quite some time, I'm trying to work on my health, especially reduction of hair weight, and that itself is a goal again. And it goes into wealth, and again getting into a relationship goal. Now, these are all certain aspects for quite some time. Probably we haven't put in conscious effort. Now, here we are in Mind Race. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about goals. And when we are talking about goals, the first and foremost questions, as they say, first things first, what is a goal? Now, let me invite Kotishwaran sir to shed some light. So this is a terminology which goes across from and childhood to corporates. Goals. For some, they take it with full pleasure. For some, it adds to a pressure. Now, what does this word goal means to you, sir? And how, as an individual, we should be shedding our focus when it comes to the terminology called goal?
Okay, that's a great question, Bala. See, for me, it's anything. Normally, we use the word to define a goal. We use the word like a SMART. Okay. For me, the goal means which will make us just come out of our comfort zone. That's the only thing I could able to define this, the goal. And also it will extend our capability. As a human brain, that's the only thing in this world. It has got an infinity power within this. So the goal which will allow us to come out of our comfort zone and just go and achieve something. That's why whenever you want to set a goal, the word we call it as SMART. One is whatever it is. Any definition can be, set as a goal. It has to be specific, attainable, that is achievable. And what do you say, like measurable, SMART. That's a word we use: specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, and it has to be realistic and time bound. These are 5 terms. Whatever you set in your life, it is a goal. Suppose I cannot imagine I will just go and go and land in the moon. You see, in the SMART, there is one letter will be like it will not be suitable for me.
Understood,
and I cannot say that at the age of 50 I can participate and go and get an Olympic medal. I can become an IAS officer, because those criterias, we don't meet those criterias. But of course, that is why each and every letter in this SMART is very important for us. So life, anything, as I rightly pointed out, you want to have a weight reduction program. Fantastic. Now, it's become an open channel, right? In this weight reduction, you need to understand from where to what. When you say goal, there is a time bound and it has to be measurable. Suppose you cannot set a goal which does not have any kind of target. Suppose if you have 80 kg, yes, from the 80, I need to come back to 60. So that's where the goal comes into the picture. Then accordingly, we'll start developing those to achieve that goal, what we need. That's a plan and strategy, then implement this. Even though it is a corporate terminology and corporate word, today it is very much essential to adopt in our personal life.
Excellent, sir. Thanks for shedding your insights about it. Let me quickly go through it, because probably when you were explaining, there were some specifics. As I said, like, the specifics is what probably I miss most often. So it is a great learning for me, sir, because I'm a person who at times miss out this measurable and realistic aspect of it. So I will keep a track of having some realistic expectations out of me, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. I think SMART goals, you have set the tone right up there, sir. Now, Mind Academy, Mind Race, in all means, what is our overall objective? Is to shed lights and to help the next generation to lead a life which they love. That is the overall motto, if it is the mission set by our founder director. Now, keeping in that spirit, sir, now, as a board exam preparatory student, now, one who's getting into this board exams, be it grade 10 or grade 12, realistically, what is your suggestions and recommendations, how they should be setting up their goals for the next year or so? What is that one recommendation if you have to put for them, sir, to begin with?
It's really, I love to answer this question, but it will be a little elaborative.
Please, sir.
See, whenever we say goal, or call it as a SMART goal, always we believe back to basics.
Great.
Let's imagine, let us ask ourselves a question. Might be even we may not be remembering our kindergarten or LKG, UKG, when we were learning alphabets. What happens there? Alphabets, they taught us every day, every day, keep on revising it. Can you remember how many times you would have revised the alphabets?
I don't remember, sir.
Maybe 100 times.
Yeah.
Now, those alphabets is permanently written into our memory. Whenever you ask, whenever you tap, you will be just giving your answer.
Agree, sir.
So why? So many times it got to be repeated to us. That time, the age, small age, we are playful. We don't have the focus. And always we say, this is, even though medically it's a little bit confusing words, we say that conscious and subconscious memory.
Okay.
When you say conscious memory, that means you focus intentionally, you try to do something, that becomes a conscious memory. But that is also a temporary memory. It can fade away easily.
Understood.
When it goes to subconscious memory, regardless of time, regardless of energies, regardless of your mood, it will work.
Understood.
So from our childhood, even though we are playful boys and girl children, they are keep on repeating and returning to our subconscious mind. That is why even in the older age also, you will remember the alphabet, you will remember the teacher who taught you. This is what the precisely coming to this. So same thing, when you become a board exams or your 10th or +2, we try to recall the same thing here. What's happening nowadays with the technology? The kids are more engaged with the social medias and other activities. So again, they become a playful. So same technology here. The revision makes them from the conscious memory to unconscious memory. What is happening with the nowadays, the kids, either I'm not sure, either they are procrastinating their own activities, or they become overconfident that within a night I can achieve whatever I want.
Understood, sir.
End of the day, it creates a fear within them.
True.
When you get a fear, the confidence will be lost. When you lose the confidence, game is over.
Very true, sir. Very interesting.
So they get that frustration into this.
Mm.
Now, this is what the basics we need to understand.
Mm.
Now, how we can like set ourselves, prepare ourselves for the exam. This is my own experience. Just I would like to share it because
Please,
each
sir.
one, the formula is different, but it is like I could able to success in my life. That's what. Suppose you ask me a question, can you crack centum in mathematics? My answer is yes, because I did it.
Excellent.
That's where the formula is a little bit different. That is just I would like to share my experience.
Sure, sir.
See, whenever we see the subjects,
Mhm.
there are three kinds of subject in this.
Mhm.
One is complete theory,
Mhm.
theory with semi-mathematics, that is
Wow.
partially mathematics involved.
Mhm.
Third one is the pure mathematics.
Oh,
All these three will have a different approaches.
very interesting insight, sir. Please go ahead.
When
Please
you're
go, sir.
talking about theory,
Mhm.
that is where normally we say that we need to improve your reading habits among our kids,
Mhm.
because to attend the theory part, if you know the vocabulary and the English language, what you
Mhm.
need to remember is only the major points. You can
Mhm.
make your own statements as an essay or the answer to this.
Understood.
Suppose the vocabulary is less or we don't have enough vocabulary, then each and every paragraph you need to memorize and memorize. It's going to give us stress for us.
Mm.
So that is where you need to attach to the theory is you need to understand the major points.
Mhm.
And from there, you can make your own statements. You can write a essay to the answers.
Understood, sir.
Next one is the semi-mathematics.
Mm.
Theory we know. We can understand the theory. Especially semi-mathematics, I can say for an example like physics, chemistry.
True.
It has got a semi-mathematics. In this, what we need to take care of is, especially when talk about chemistry and mathematics, always definition need to be understood by word. Actually. Even
Mhm.
one word can change the complete thing. Number one. Formulas, normally, this is one thing if you understand physics is very easy. Normally, the formulas are driven with one unit of measurement.
Understood. Mhm.
The twist, what is happening is, they will change the unit of measurement.
Mm.
If you don't understand conversion factor, then it's going to be difficult.
It's a
For an
disaster.
example, if the temperature, normally we know the
It's in
formula will
degree
be degree
Celsius.
centigrade,
Correct.
but in the question they'll make it Fahrenheit. We need to
Uh-huh.
understand that you need to convert this. So
Mm.
that formulas we need to remember. Sometimes
Mhm.
nowadays, I don't know, they are giving the formula book also. That's a different story. Pure max is the one which we always needs number of revisions, which is going to make us.
Understood, sir.
Because this is also the mathematics is a complete abstract.
Mhm.
It's not like physics or chemistry where you can just do the experiment and can find it out. Complete max is a complete abstract. Always people complain about the algebra, but I like most on the algebra part. So what is happening here is in the mathematics, you need to have a focus. Number of revisions makes you perfect in this.
Mm.
More and more you revise, more
Mhm.
and more you just solve the problems, your
Mhm.
confidence level will go up. This is as per as the subject parts are concerned. Now, how do we plan? Now, this is what another thing is. How do you set a smart goal or whatever? It needs a very small amount of plan. You know what normally happens when you want to read max or
Mhm.
the semi-mathematics involved, you need to have a maximum attention.
Mhm.
So that attention happens as a human. That's in the morning period.
Mhm.
Afternoon, when it comes, whenever you have the heavy food, it's like kind of a the focus will be less, or you'll have a
Low
kind of
energy,
a
low energy period.
low energy period. There you get into the theory part.
Understood.
And again, the evening when it comes in is the digestion is over, then you will get more energy in the evening. Again, you can morning you can have a pure max. In the evening you can go for a semi one, and just after that, most importantly, you need to have enough sleep.
Mm.
So my planning or my advice could be Early morning, 5 o'clock. It's going to be very, very challenging. I know that. So
Kids may
from
not
the
like it.
5, yes, from the 5 to 7 or 7:30, you can focus on the max.
Mhm.
Then you can have a breakfast and everything. Then switch over to chemistry or physics. Then in the afternoon, you can go the theory papers like languages or other things. Evening again, go back to the semi-max.
Mhm.
By 10:30, please sleep.
Mm.
Again, go 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Even if you are on the refreshment, maybe around 4 to 5 or something like this, just go out. You can have a
Mm.
swimming or get a fresh air, see the greeneries. Do
Mm.
not touch the social media, because the point is, it's not that we should not play. Yes, we can play. But can you able to switch over? That is a question actually.
Mm.
Once you get into the social media, the switch over time will be longer.
Very
actually.
difficult. Agree.
So that is where it comes in. This is the planning we're talking about. Then you may be asking question, why we need to do number of revisions? Very simple. Nowadays, our smart kids can understand very well. When they play a video game, when they want to go for from level 1 to level 2, did they go in one stroke?
Not always.
Number of times they try, fail, try,
Practice.
fail, try, fail. There's a challenges. So when you do the number of times, what is happening on the way? What is my hurdles? Where I need to jump? Where I need to hit? Where I need to shoot? So that is getting into our memory.
Registered.
Automatically, your fingers will be moving. That's all. This is the same story in the subject also. Point there is, we get interest, we continue here. We get fear, so we are losing them.
Discontinue.
So
Very
this is what I would like to
very
quick
thoughtful
summarize
point.
on.
Very thoughtful points are starting from how procrastination impacts and progression for a student, and from there how important is to focus on right food and right sleep, and the excellent feature which you have brought onto the table. I regret that not listening to you back in my school days or engineering days is the bifurcation which you have brought into the table. So that is very interesting. And to all the students, those who are listening to us, for sure, this is going to help them in huge way. It is the theory, like, bifurcating the whole curriculum into just 3 simple parts, and that makes a lot of sense. That's what the whole process is. One is just pure theory, one is mix of theory plus mathematics, and one is pure mathematics. And if this micro understanding of what is that going to come our way, I think it is going to give them a huge amount of clarity in their approach. And this timeline which you have suggested them, for sure, whichever, as you rightly said, the energy level, every student will have his or her own comfortable energy zone, and you have given the best practice. Get up at 5 in the morning, channelize your energy on the practical or the numerical exams or numerical subjects, and then when your energy is low, that time focus on the theory part. I think these are all very interesting and very valuable takeaways for the students, sir, especially during the board exams. It's going to help them big way. I'm sure today is a session which they will be marking in their calendar, that they can channelize heading up forward in the next year or so for the board. Now, sticking back to this 3-layer approach which you have shared, sir, I'm a person who was fairly comfortable on the theory part of the exams. So I was the one who was more comfortable with the theory portion part, was fairly okay with the mathematics aspect of it. Now, this could be the reverse for another student. So everyone, we all know that it is an individual business. Now, if I have a strength, and I know history was my favorite subject, and come what may, I will score good marks in history. Now, I know history is my strength, and given that context, how I should be channelizing for my overall year when it comes to an area where it is my strength, and how I should be positioning my strengths, sir. What are your thoughts on that?
Excellent, excellent. That is what initially we touched upon a small point. Using our subconscious mind effectively. This is what comes into this. See, that means when you're talking about history, when it is interesting one, once you read this, that means it stays longer in your memory. That
Understood.
you can call it as a sting.
Okay.
Because even after a month, if someone asks if you're able to reproduce, that means it stays you longer into your memory.
Okay. That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, correct, sir.
That means, suppose when it comes to the max, it's
Mhm.
okay. There's something where you are fading from the memory.
Very
That's
true.
where you need to have more focus.
Especially
That is
in
where
max,
we
yes.
say that when it is fading, you rewrite
Mhm.
until
Mhm.
it engraved.
Mhm.
The concept.
Understood, sir.
So how do we do this? For an example, max, someone feels very tough.
Mhm.
You are going for a first chapter.
Mhm.
You completed the first chapter.
Mhm.
Okay. Once you complete the first chapter, you are going to the second chapter. So now you need to plan your revision. When during the second chapter, alternate days, go for a first chapter revision.
Mhm.
Are you fading away or not?
Okay.
Then when you complete the second chapter, when you are in third chapter,
Mhm.
and plan the revisions of first and two alternatively among with and in parallel with the three.
Mhm.
So that means you are not allowing the formulas or the chapter to be faded from your memory. You are starting
Mhm.
engraving it again and again.
Understood. Working on
So
your
this is what the
subconscious
revision
memory.
planning is most important. Until you understood fully from the one chapter, do not move to the next one. Once you move the next one, today I understood, but after 10 days, that will be fade away. Again, rewrite
Understood.
that.
Mm.
Also, you need to continue with the another chapters. So like this, if you keep going, that
Mhm.
means each and every step, you are not allowing our memory to fading from those
Fade
things.
away. Okay.
So that is why we call it as the revision is a most powerful tool for any kind of exams.
Mhm.
So what happens is when you are sitting in the examination hall, when the question comes in, you believe it or not, you will see a book in front of you.
Mm.
You will see a virtual book in front of you. You will be, and also the time is good enough.
Mhm.
Even if you want, you can answer 100% of including the options.
Mm.
So that is why the revision planning is most important. The
Mhm.
revision normally one thing happens in the revision. We need to be very, very careful on this. That's where it happens. Normally, in normally you say prompt.
Understood.
Suppose you have a 2 paragraph.
Mhm.
Someone gives the first letter of prompt, you can read whole paragraph.
Very true. You need that ignition.
That also during your revision, you need to plan your own prompt. Normally, what happens during the revision, people who open the book, they take the first word. No, don't take the first word.
Mm.
When you get a prompt, always you'll be looking for a book.
Understood.
So these are the few things. Revision is most important point, as you rightly pointed out,
Mhm.
to engrave or to use our subconscious mind effectively. I hope it answered.
Yeah, indeed, sir. Like, revision, the importance of revision. And I guess today's mind race viewers would have gotten different perspective of how you should have this focused prompting even while revising. That's a very interesting element which you have brought into the discussion and foray, sir. Yeah, now when I look in the high side, like, it makes a lot of difference. Like, whenever you put things in focus, especially even during revision, that adds more clarity and it helps you keep those things in your memory lane. Yeah, I now I can make a lot of sense out of what you're saying. It's all about keeping things in your memory lane as far as it goes, so that you keep the whole point intact, so that whether it is a strength or it is a weakness, invariably you attempt things in the right perspective. Now, one important aspect, sir, like, what I thought I will quickly take you probably a last question before we wrap it up for the day. Like, you were emphasizing more on a disciplined diet and sleep routine. I found it very interesting when you said have a meal, and that will ensure that some energy will be drawn out of you, and also having a sleep pattern. Now, if you can just shed some quick light on these two aspects, are like, how this can play an important role, especially during a board year.
That's a very good question. We'll have a quick answer for this.
Please,
See,
sir.
whenever what's happening is always as a mammals, we are all part of the mammals, human being, it needs a sleep. Minimum 8 hours sleep,
Mhm,
or I can say that to repair our organs. What
mhm,
happens while sleeping? The whole body temperature goes down. The work done by the each and every organs goes down. It gets a refreshment, energy.
mm.
If you do not sleep, what is happening is already you are in a fear, stress of the
Mm.
exam.
Understood.
One will lose the sleeping. What is happening is the body temperature goes up. It's like something like just we are inside the hot oil. So what is happening is your stress will go up, the temperature will go up, the angerness will effectively go up, then completely the focus will be lost.
Understood, sir.
That is the only reason we are saying sleeping is must during the examinations. Of course, it is going to give you the stress, but in the daytime, you'll have the energy to focus more and more.
Mm.
So there are always questions. I study up to 2 o'clock and get up at 10 o'clock. See, normally what happens in the night, that depends on the people because generally we don't recommend to stay longer because what is happening once after dinner you are in a lean phase, you are in the
Mm.
sleeping mode. How you are going to get the energy back?
Understood.
So in the night, almost you will be wasting 3 to 4 hours to
Mm.
regain. Maybe after midnight you will be regaining it, but after
Understood.
that you will be getting tired again. That is why
Mm.
normally we say reverse the cycle. Get up in
Mm.
the early morning. That's
Mm.
normally it's just a fresh oxygen everywhere. Just have a little walk and just start. You can start moving on. So that is where we normally recommend you need to have a better sleep during the exam periods.
Understood, sir. And I think that's very valuable recommendations and suggestions which you have brought into the table. For sure, listeners, especially the learners in board year, is going to make great benefit out of this. Great recommendations, I must say, kind of a standard best practice, if may have put across in corporate language to it. Starting from how important is to have a smart goal, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound goals, and from there uh, how important is to bifurcate your overall curriculum into three phases. That's all, my dear listeners. I was fascinated when he brought into that idea or thought process. That's all, and it boils down to, is it a theory paper, is it an theory plus max, or is it just in mathematics? And top of it, revision, the strength of revision and having a focused prompting aspect in both your theory plus practical, theory and complete practical papers also will help. And as you rightly pointed out at the end, right food, right sleep can rejuvenate and rejoice your organs, that can help you be razor sharp when it comes to your day. And that is very important when it comes especially in an board year. So I think today's mind race episode is going to help all the students who are entering into grade 12 and grade 10 to have a goal which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. It's been a pleasure and honor, sir. Kotishwaran, sir.
Thank you,
So,
Bala.
pleasure, sir. I'm sure it's not only for the students and learners, it's also for the parents and all those out there who are seeking to improve. As you rightly said at the first instance, anyone out there who's looking to come out of the comfort zone and who wants to expand the horizons and move on, goal is the key. And if that is the case, today's episode, I am sure, my dear viewers of Mind Academy's Mind Race, we lit up our humble bit in this world. And it's an honor to listen live on such ideas. As we said, we dialogued, deliberated, and discussed points related to having goals and how important it is to have realistic ones. So, till we fall back next week with yet another episode of Mind Race, it's we all signing off here in Mind Race. Thank you. See you once again.